Well, hello and welcome to the Ignite Press book launch livecast. I'm excited to have you here. I am Everett O'Keefe. I'm the founder and CEO of Ignite Press. And I've got a really special guy here today, and you are going to find this quite entertaining. Nick Ryan is here to talk about his new book, From Jackass to Joy. I'm not making this stuff up, and you are going to get a kick out of him. Before we go to Nick, let me just let you know that we here at Ignite Press specialize in taking nonfiction books to market and really helping speakers, coaches, consultants, business professionals, medical professionals, and other thought leaders bring their books to life and to help these authors become Amazon best-selling authors in the process. And if we can help you, just reach out to ignitepress.us, not .com, but ignitepress.us, and set up a book consultation with me. Now, if you're watching this, feel free to use the chat role to put comments in, to cheer Nick on, ask questions, etc. And I'll bring those questions up on the screen, actually, and bring them in front of Nick. So what are we talking about today? I told you it's called From Jackass to Joy. And Nick is an amazing guy, husband, father, grandfather, also community leader, owns a couple businesses, speaker, philanthropist, all sorts of things. And he will tell you also a sometimes jackass. And I don't think he's referring to the animal. But let me bring Nick on, and he can tell you the story himself. Nick, welcome to the Livecast. How are you today?
I'm great, Everett. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You've just made me say a word I never thought I would say on air, and I said it 2 or 3 times. I can't believe it. I really don't know what to do with this. So, Nick, why don't you start by just telling us about who you are? Give us a little background on Nick Ryan.
Oh, sure. Well, I'm a Chicago guy. Grew up in a big Irish family. Basically just a simple person and gone through a lot of interesting experiences, especially with 2 marriages. And I think I have something to offer now after one failed and one highly successful one about what works and what doesn't. So hopefully I can save some people a little anguish.
Well, I think we can all benefit from being saved some anguish. And I'm glad to hear that you have had also a very successful marriage after the failed marriage. I'm trying to remember the author's name, but I think it's the guy who wrote, Women Are from Mars and Men Are from Venus. I think he's had
Joel Gray.
Yeah, I think 6 marriages, something like that. And at some point, I started to worry. I'm not quite sure what number you worry, but tell us about this book, because well, first tell us, why did you write From Jackass to Joy?
Well, to me, relationships are the most important thing in life. I really believe that if you have quality relationships, your life will be blessed and full of gratitude. And so I think that I've seen so many people struggle and they just feel semi-dead with each other. They don't have passion. They don't play. They don't tickle each other. They don't dance when they're 65 years old. And Teresa and I have found that formula. So we're always in conferences and whatever, having a good time. And people go, "How long have you been married?" I said, "Well, 31 years. They go, "Oh my gosh, you're like newlyweds." So I thought I would share some of that with people and show you that you can keep it alive for the entire lifespan of a marriage or relationship. And just would like to share that with people.
All right. I've just got this great comment from Dave Ferguson. I thought I would pull this up. If you're trying to make a blended family work, this book will be a big help to you, your spouse, and your kids. Let's let's talk about. Oh, wait, I also got to bring up this one. I think you might know this person.
Oh, my little baby, little pumpkin. I call her Punky.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, let's talk about blended. Let's talk about blended family. I think this is a real challenge that people struggle with, right? When the one marriage doesn't work, and the next they're into the next marriage, and there's children perhaps from both. What tips can you pass on to spouses in blended families?
Well, I guess the biggest thing is do the work. When I first got married, I was 19 years old, had 3 kids with my first wife. And my wife, Teresa, now did the same thing. She got married right out of high school, had 2 kids. So when we met, we were in our mid and late 30s and blended 5 kids. And I think this whole thing works whether you're a blended family like that or you're just marrying into a family that's a little bit different than yours. But we blended 5 kids from 9 to 13. So basically preteens, teenagers, 3 girls, 2 guys. And we were different. I met Teresa. She was from Kansas City. She moved to Chicago to move in with me. We moved into the house that I had originally purchased with my first wife that I bought back. It'd be interesting to do the taxes on that one to see what happens when you buy the same house twice. But anyway, we started out with this fun and playfulness. And after about 2 years, one day I look at Teresa and she's like, paws up, just worn out. Like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? It was a little bit like Overboard with Goldie Hawn. And so I said, oh my gosh, Teresa, what are we going to do here? Something, why aren't you happy? And she goes, honey, you're just crazy. You're killing me here. So it's like chaos. I'm a chaotic person, I guess. You just like to have a lot of fun and people over and all that stuff. And she's a social person too, but it was different. So we ended up going to counseling, and the kids went through counseling, and we did the work and learned a whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of tools, and ultimately create a very successful blended family of 5 and now 11 grandkids. We're all each other's best friend. We travel together. We have fun together. We respect each other. It's really been a great thing. So I think everybody can have it, but you do have to have some structure and intentionality about it for sure.
You just said I think a magic word to many people: respect. That everyone in the family, that people respect each other, and it's easy to go have fun sometimes together, but respect comes. You earn respect, right?
Right.
Respect is something that is acquired over time, and I think it's one of the reasons I'm excited about your book. Not only is it hilarious, some of the stories you've got, but providing that structure and providing that work so that people can create that family. Um, Chris said this comment. I thought I'd bring it up here. Just got my copy. Was there a story you were scared to share in the book? Now, before you answer this, I know you're a storyteller. Like, I know you love to tell stories. You're a good Irishman from that standpoint.
A lot of Irish jokes, lad.
I love it. And if we have time, we're getting to some of those. But yeah, was there a story that you were actually scared to share?
Yeah, you know what? There was the last one. I think it's in the epilogue or something, but nothing is ever like permanent and you can't take it for granted. And I think this was about 2 years ago during COVID. Our oldest daughter, Natalie, was living with us. She had moved back from Wisconsin. And Teresa, my wife, and I, we get along great, except that the biggest challenge for us is probably she's at a stage of life where she's working really hard. She's a real estate broker. She's really great at what she does, but she takes it so seriously. And sometimes I like to take a little chill pill and take a break. So I told a story in the book where one day I had said, hey, Teresa, how about I come home for lunch? I'll make you a great lunch. We'll have a little lovey afternoon together, take a little, fun, and then go for a bike ride or whatever. So I do that. I make a lunch. I call up, Teresa, lunch is ready. Oh, honey, give me another 5 minutes. Honey, lunch is ready. Give me another 10 minutes. Boom. And Teresa's a project person. So she's finishing this project. Finally, an hour goes by. Lunch is cold. I'm ticked. I go, screw it. Jump on my bike, go for a bike ride. I'm riding out there, kind of doing, speaking of Barbara DeAngelis and Joel Gray, I was thinking about her. She said that sometimes you're better off maybe marrying somebody for different stages of your life, like a play pal, which I kind of want right now, is somebody to play with, travel with, enjoy life with. And my wife is being a worker. And so I came home and I'm riding my bike and I'm thinking about this. And I look down at my finger and my wedding ring is gone. And I never take off my wedding ring. So I started thinking, oh my God, I don't want to leave Teresa. I don't want to lose this girl. I love her, but maybe we just need to retool our relationship somehow. So I get home and I tell her the story and told her about my thoughts, and she started crying. And I heard her feelings and all this stuff. Well, the next day we wake up, we're having our morning coffee. We do like a morning ritual with like morning miracle where we meditate, we pray, we light the candles and have our coffee and all this stuff. And Natalie is with us and her dog's barking outside. It's pouring down rain and the dog won't come in the house. And I'm going, what the heck is with this dog? So finally, Natalie goes out to get the dog, and the dog, is no kidding, is standing right next to my ring. I had lost it in the garden the day before when I was planting rose bushes.
Wow.
She brings it in. It's shiny. It's just had gotten cleaned by the rain. Said, hey, here's your ring. So it's kind of like my George Bailey moment. It's like, okay, God is watching over our marriage and doesn't want me to be another jackass forever. I can be a little bit here and there, have those thoughts. We all do, but get it straight there, pal. So I was a little afraid to tell that story because you kind of think you should have it all figured out at my age, and you still maybe don't.
The vulnerability is key, right? It's key. It's key in the relationship, and it's key in communicating what you're communicating. Now, by the way, there are a couple of people that have been supporting you are also on the call. I just happened to notice this. Cindy Chosick says, congratulations, Nick. So thrilled to see you on screen as a published author.
Awesome.
Fantastic. And then Deb, I was touched now by how open you were about how hard it was, yet you made it work with both wives and your exes. And she, in her question, what was the key? Now, by the way, Deb has been pretty instrumental in bringing this book out. Do you want to share with people her role in this project?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have an idea of writing a book. And so I kept writing, like, because of my success with this blended family, and people kept saying, you should write a book about this stuff. How are you doing it? How come your kids get along so great? How come you all want to travel together? So I basically kept putting in my little Franklin Covey goal sheet year after year after year, and I never did it. Well, I shared it with Deb. I said, well, I wanted to write these articles on blended family. Maybe I should just go right to a book. And she said, I can help you with that. And little did I know how hard it is, but basically we sat down and Deb was great. She's a accomplished author and marketing person, and helped me just really synthesize my thoughts, had all these conversations, pulled the information out of me, helped me organize it, and really helped me package this book. So I think that really is kind of like anything else. Get a coach, get somebody to co-author it with you if you really have a great story to tell, and get it out there. I think it's worth it.
Wonderful. Now, speaking of packaging, your cover is a bit unusual. Unlike any book cover that we've done in the past, quite honestly. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, that was great. Your company actually had a cover contest, and I thought it was great. Basically, we gave them the idea, like peach rose. My wife Teresa loves peach roses. The Jackass is obvious. The wedding ring, staying married, and maybe having somebody pull you around by your ear a little bit to keep you straight. And then I don't know where those glasses came from, but always look at the bright side of life is what I take from it, and which I am an optimist. it is very much part of me is having that kind of look through life with an optimistic viewpoint. So I think that's where the glasses came from. And the green background, that's us, pal, us Irish guys. Love
Yay!
that green.
Absolutely, absolutely. Though neither of us are wearing green today, but that's okay. We're
That's it.
forgiving of it. My my coat of arms is in the background there somewhere, so at least we've got that. Now, in the book, you're pretty honest about how hard you found marriage to be the first time. Why do you think that is? And is this typical of young men that they find marriage to be very hard?
Yeah, I mean, either that or else I think they just give up on it, and just sort of separate and do their own thing, and they're not very close. I know a lot of marriages like that where they're not really very good friends and they just kind of stay together because it's too hard to do something else. But yeah, for me, I had this preconceived notion. I was from a patriarchal Irish family. The guy is the provider. He works his butt off to provide for his family, all this stuff. And then my folks were very social people. They would always have people over. So I was that's how you do it. You just have a lot of parties and social things and help people when they call you and all that. And Linda was a little more conservative, more not as spontaneous. So I'm like a spontaneous person, like grab the opportunity. That's same thing with my real estate business. It's like if it's there, you got to do it. So I just thought, why is this so hard? And then also kind of as a young guy, when you first have your babies, it's kind of a selfish thing, but I think men, and I've talked with them later about it, you kind of miss the attention. It's like, hey, where's my wife? She's always with these kids. Well, my ex-wife, Linda, was a really great mom, but probably overly focused on the kids, I'd say. So I think that happens sometimes. And it just sort of then you drift apart. The guy gets more into his work. The lady gets maybe more into the kid raising, and you're not fully gelling. So that's maybe a traditional way of looking at it. A lot of families maybe aren't so traditional like that, but that
I
was
mean,
my thought.
and the reality is it takes work, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and let's be real. Not all people are ready to do it, and I don't know if men are just innately selfish or what, but it's like,
Well, we're kind of dumb, maybe. I don't
oh,
know.
we are innately dumb. I mean, that's true. I mean,
Dumb and
that
smart.
is
We're
that is
both.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
my first wife, she suggested counseling, and I'm like, well, you're the one that's unhappy. Why don't you go? That was my response, which was stupid. And then Teresa and I ended up going back to the same counselor. And the funny thing was, I was doing my same dance. You're trying to get the counselor on your side. Hey, I'm the good guy here. What's wrong with her? How come she's not? Same thing. Teresa wasn't happy either. So maybe I should start looking in the mirror a little bit. So Mary finally broke out this list of 24 problem behavior checklist, and said, Teresa, why don't you circle the ones that you think Nick might have? She
Oh boy.
circled 22 of them.
Oh
The only
boy.
things I didn't have was like harmful to self and suicidal or something. I had manipulative, white lies, minimize, all this stuff. So, and she knew an example of every friggin' one, date, time, when I did
Of
it,
course.
all this stuff.
Of
So,
course.
so I'm starting to get a little ticked. So then Mary hands me the list. So I start circling away on this thing. And she goes, well, Nick, is Teresa selfish? I go, oh, yeah, definitely. So she goes, well, give me an example. I go, geez, well, she'll give and give and give. And then she just stops. And I think that's selfish. And they're both going, loser. Then I go, well, how about another one? I go, manipulative. She's so manipulative. Give me an example of that one. I said, well, I couldn't think of anything. I finally said, you know what, Mary? She is so good. I don't even know when she's doing it. And then I lose her again. So yeah, you might as well just take the coaching and not try to win that one.
That's it. Now, we Chris passed on a great question, and she wanted me to ask you about living down the street from your ex, and
Yeah.
also about when Natalie wasn't invited to the party. This is what Chris asked. Do you know what she's referring to?
I don't see the question.
No, I got it on my cell phone. It got texted to me. So Chris wanted to ask about you living down the street from your ex and when Natalie wasn't invited to the party.
Yeah. Okay. So we did live right on the next block. I bought my old house back from Linda. I liked the house. And then I said, why don't we live in the same school district? And I wanted her to live the same lifestyle as us. So I felt I was very generous in our divorce settlement. That was one tip in the book. A lot of people fight about money. And I was, I think, probably overly, hey, I don't want you to suffer. I don't want the kids to suffer. Buy the same kind of house they're used to living in, take trips, all that stuff. And so she ends up buying a house right on the next block. They could cut through our neighbor's yard to one house from the other. So we move in, and Linda was more structured and like boundary oriented. And one day, our daughter, Natalie, Teresa's daughter, was over, and Linda, I believe, sent her home, said, oh, I'm having a birthday party for Tara, my daughter, who's the same age, and she didn't invite Natalie. And I'm like, well, what the hell? It's probably she was just a structural person. Oh, I had only set it up for 10 kids. I only have 10 hats. I only have 10 buckets, and she's the 11th one. So I'll send her home, where like a guy like me or my wife, Teresa, hey, let's get another stupid bucket, So yeah, that just ticked Teresa. That was the start of like little wifey wars for about a year. No doubt.
Well, as I understand, you guys have a great, a great relationship with your ex-wife at this time. Is that
Yeah.
you know?
We got through it. We all did a program called the Landmark Forum. It was kind of a personal development program, and you realize you got to take accountability for your own stuff. Being right doesn't make relationships work. So I think we're always trying to be right. I'm right here. You should have done it my way. And that doesn't work. It just doesn't. Better off just saying, okay, fine. Your way's your way. My way's my way. They both probably work. Maybe yours for you, mine for mine. So they call it get off of it. We got off of it with each other. End up forgiving each other. Said, hey, we all like each other, really. We all have our family weddings together. We do all kinds of stuff together. So yeah,
it sounds like you've got some pretty terrific relationships. I'm seeing some messages come in here from people, and just want to kind of share those up on the screen.
Oh yeah.
Then Tara.
Those two girls, Natalie and Tara, they were 9 and 10 when we got married. They would fight like cats and dogs. Now they're like best buddies.
Oh, I love it. And here she is quoting you. Let's do it. The regular Nick Ryan quote.
Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh, and Tara said that she's sorry she didn't invite Natty to the party. Oh, man.
Those two are hysterical together.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. So also, there's a lot of practical tools in the second half of the book. How can some of these help couples and their families?
One is like structurally, I think we really worked trying to be fair financially. So, for example, when we first got married, Teresa and I did our wills, and I said, I think it's fair for my 3 kids to each get 25% of my estate, and yours 12 and a half, because your kids have their dad, who's very active with them also. And over time, Teresa said, I don't think that's right. We're both business people. We're building up a small fortune together. I think our kids should all be even. So I think they were in high school. And I talked to my kids and I said, Teresa really feels like this. And this is the way I structured it, was you guys would get double and they'd get the other part from their dad. And they go, Dad, that's not right. We should all be even. So that was one structural thing. Our kids are 100% even and everything that way. Financially, I think the amount of attention, just the amount of times we go visit them in different states, the ideas that one will come up with an idea for vacation. We go, okay, let's do that one this time. just a fairness principle, you know. I think that's huge.
Oh, wonderful. And hence, I think a lot of what comes down to that respect, you're right, that respect component. So this book, what do you plan to do with it? I mean, most of our clients, Nick, are business people that are writing a book for the purpose of utilizing it in their business. You have taken a different course. Rather than writing a book about investing or real estate or something along the lines of that, you've written a phenomenal book about love and marriage. What's your plan? Do you have a plan for it? Is it like, man, I just wanted to get it out there. I had to get it off of my heart, my chest. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I do have a plan for it. Teresa's hysterical. My wife is like a spontaneous. She could be on. In fact, she was on stage with what was the comedian one time? Oh my God, it was for Saturday Night Live, guys. She was at a conference and just jacking with each other. She's funny. So I thought this would be a great thing to do, and initially in churches, church groups, just have relationship courses, share what we've learned, and then she'll correct me and Jack. People can see that they can have fun, even though they disagree. And I think we can maybe, Wayne Brady, that's who it was. And so we can, I think, initially do that and then make a little podcast concept. I thought it'd be fun to actually do in conferences ultimately, where you go and because ultimately it's all about relationship. This book is a relationship book, and the same principles apply to work, to business, fairness, respect, all those types of things. Generosity, it's all the same value system. If you use it in business, and I've been extremely successful in business, not because I'm such a brilliant guy, but I have great partners. They're smart, and we create a win-win, and we use our strengths and weaknesses together. So this book can be used for a lot of stuff like that. And I think it'd be really good for kids to read. My grandkids now, I'm going to have them read it, ask them to read it, so they learn a lot of this stuff before they end up going down the wrong road in relationship in the first place. It's got coaching for how to pick a mate, relationship exercises on how to know if you're compatible. What's your vision for your life? Are you lined up together, or is one still growing and maybe doesn't know what direction they're going to take? So you kind of want to be on a similar pathway, all those types of things.
All right. Wonderful. Nick, I'm going to bring up a few more comments before we sign off here. Teresa pointed out that blending our families was a lot of work, but the investment in time, patience, and love has created our wonderful family. Cindy says that you've raised your children to be selfless, and that is a commendable feat. Cassidy shared, loved reading this, Nick. What an inspiration and powerful to share with all. Lots of life lessons for anyone to grow and learn from. Appreciate your lessons and leadership. So much here. Also, Deb, again, who had such a hand in creating this book, you really shared tools to plan the individual purpose, couple purpose, and family purpose. Hands-on work that families can do to take charge of their futures together. So, Nick, we're coming to the end of our time. I would be remiss if I did not plug your book one more time. But before I plug the book and take us out, is there one story you want to leave us with, or one joke that you think is appropriate? I know I'm going to regret asking this, but one joke that you think is appropriate to this occasion?
Oh, I could tell maybe a story.
Okay.
So Natalie and Tara.
Maybe
so when Teresa and I got married, my little Terra Bear is kind of like a little jock. She's a soccer player. She's beautiful. She's a very feminine lady, but tough. Natalie was more of a ballerina, artist, very delicate. She'd whine a little bit. Tara would bash her, that they would do all that kind of stuff. Well, as they grew, Natalie ultimately grew to be 7 inches taller than Tara. She's a much taller girl. And anyway, one day she comes into our bedroom. Teresa and I are just waking up, and she goes, "Parents, we have a serious issue." And I go, "What's that, Natalie?" She goes, she whips out this bra from behind her back. It's like an athletic bra that Tara plays soccer with that she pulled off her floor. She said, "This is so nasty, and this is one of her best bras." And so I have brought in this little Victoria's Secret catalog. She whips this thing out from behind her back. And I've circled several items for Tara and for a few for myself. Can I have your charge card?
Oh my God.
So yeah, taking care of your sister, man.
Well, and a little bit for herself too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, she's not dumb. You raise smart kids, and that's funny. That's super funny. Well, Nick, thank you again. Thanks for letting us be part of this process too. It's really been a joy to work with you, with Deb, Matthew, and others on your team as this process and project have come through. Super excited about what's happening, what we're seeing already, honestly, on the launch side. I'm not going to spill the beans here. I'll let you spill those beans another time. But thank you again, Nick, for being part of this and bring the book our way to do this. It's been a blast.
Thank you very much, Everett. Appreciate it.
So let me go ahead and plug this one last time. From Jackass to Joy is available now on Amazon. You can pick up the paperback there. The Kindle's actually at 99 cents today, so you can pick that up. That's a launch special, and definitely recommend that you do that. So again, here at Ignite Press, we specialize in bringing these messages to the world. If you've had an idea for a book that you just really haven't executed on, we can help you. If you've written a book already and you're trying to figure out what to do with it, we can help you. If you've got a book out there and published, but not happy with the way things have turned out, then reach out as well. Either way, you can reach us at ignitepress.us, where you can schedule a complimentary book consultation. We would love to hear from you. And I always enjoy meeting new people and talking about their books. So we look forward to that conversation when the time is right. Thank you again for joining us on this livecast.